let's hope that for the final session of the day, we can have the same, an unblemished half an hour of free practice for the Macau Roadsport Macau SAR Establishment Cup. In the commentary box with me, I'm delighted to say, is David Addison. The last session we had, first qualifying for the single-seaters, that was hard work. I'm relying on the Macau Roadsports to do well, uphold the honour of Roadsport.
Show us how it all should be done. Yes, I'm with you on that. Do you see Ivan Cito there? Certainly all fired up for this, and yet again, fantastic liveries on display, including the car there, the Toyota of Chan Chun Man. The way that we ended up with two Roadsport grids, in effect, is that there is a huge entry for the season-long Macau Roadsport Challenge. They're split into Group A and Group B, and the top 14 go through into this, the top 14 in each group, into the Establishment Cup, and 15 from back are in the Roadsport Challenge, for which we had the qualifying earlier on. So these, in theory, are the best drivers out of the championship this year. You've got the champions in there, like Damon Chan and Jack Tin Chung. They won their respective groups, so you can expect those two to be competitive. A choice of car. You're either in a Toyota GR86 or you're in a Subaru BRZ. After that, what you do to the livery of it is entirely down to you, and there are some very impressive ones. This amongst them being Huang Ying's car. A couple of third places he had in his Subaru this year. Third in Group A in the championship. 95 is Fung King Lun in the Parkview Motorsport Toyota GR86. Another man to watch. He was 13th in Group B, and number 18 there is Tsai Ka-hing, who took a third place and was 11th in Group A.
Opportunity to see quite a few of the drivers before they go out to start this half-an-hour session. Unusually wet here today at Macau. That's the number 24 car, that's Cheung Chung Young in the Morgan Team Track Day King Toyota. Yep, Toyotas or Subarus, the order of the day. Cheung Hing-hua is the driver of the number 8 car, the SS Racing Team Toyota. A wave for the cameras as they make their way down the order, and that is Thomas Jack in the number 1 car, the Monkey Racing Toyota GR86. And with the door closed, we do get to look in and get a thumbs up to make sure that everything is all good inside the car. All good, thumbs up, ready to go. 17, Sabino Osorio Matthias Lay in the RPM Racing Team Toyota. See just how bright and colourful these liveries are, and that's the number 44 car which is next, and that's the car of Chan Ka-ping in another one of the Morgan Team Track Day King cars, the Subaru BRZ. Thumbs up, ready to go. They've waited all day for this. They've seen the weather come and go over the course of today as far as wind and rain and drying, and now all of a sudden, as if by magic, just looking out of the commentary box, the wind has died away and we've got a far calmer scene outside.
Not for long. You wait, because it's going to be lively. I can feel it. They've waited all day for this.
Half an hour of liveliness, please.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The forecast still says there's a bit more rain to come, but it's going to be an energetic session, this, that's for sure. And the Roadsport drivers are having the circuit to themselves for the last half an hour of the day. Free practice, chance to remind themselves what the circuit is like, and if they're new to Macau, chance to learn. But the championship has been 4 weekends, double headers, all at the Zhuzhou circuit, and the man that's been really dominant in Group A and will be the man to beat here is Damon Chan, because he won each of his 4 races.
Just looking at a thumbs up from Wang Chuk Pan from Hong Kong in his Toyota as we wait for the word to go out to send the cars out onto the circuit. The first one is Chan Chung Man, or Action Chan as he's known in the Team Master Champ Toyota. First to leave the assembly area, head out onto the gear circuit here at Macau. And I have to say, you know, the pictures that we're getting on the television screen give it credit to be a lot brighter than it actually is, because when you look out the window, it gets fully dark here in about an hour's time, at about 5:45, 6 o'clock, and that's when the circuit closes and the roads open up once again, it's looking pretty bleak out there, isn't it? It's pretty dark.
It is. The reason these cars are out last is for that reason there. You can see they've got headlights and they will penetrate the gloom as they come down towards Lisboa and ignore this lap. It's the next one after that where they'll start to offer up lap times as they paddle their way into that right-hander. Quite a lot of rain has fallen in the last half an hour or so, which caught out the Grand Prix drivers, the single-seater drivers. And so as they paddle down towards Lisboa, the session underway.
Half an hour in prospect for the second of our Macau road sports for the Macau SAR Establishment Cup free practice. Well, that's good news. They seem to be threading their way through Lisboa without too much problem, which is was really the problem area, wasn't it, for the single-seaters when we had worsening conditions.
And because these are fairly narrow cars, they're able to overlap and overtake even where other championships can't.
They can do things that, the GT cars just can't do.
Yeah. So, as I say, you've got the top 14 eligible from each of the two groups into this race. They have just the one race, and important, therefore, that they get the cars absolutely dialed in nicely in these admittedly rather testing conditions up towards the end of the first of the 4 days here for the 71st Macau Grand Prix. It's got quite a heritage. And, of course, it's only in the last couple of seasons that the Roadsport Challenge has gone this way for two different types of car. Think back even during the COVID era, and the local races were a bit of a catch-all of saloon cars, weren't they? We had, the Subaru Imprezas to the hot hatches, minis, you name it, everything out there. But that rule set was a bit disparate. This has levelled the playing field somewhat. And the entry size, the fact that you've got enough cars for two races, rather illustrates the concept worked.
And also, just walking around yesterday in the paddock area, essentially where the cars are worked on, which is an indoor car park, multi-layer car park. I'm seeing the level of preparation of these cars. Very impressive. Really, really top quality stuff taking place down in the preparation stages of this weekend. But from now on, it's going to be all a bit more urgent, isn't it?
Was there a sign for that? Because normally it says level 1, level 2, not level of preparation. I just wondered if there was a...
Preparation level was on 3rd floor.
Oh, not the top floor. Wasn't that good? Out of the Macau hairpin, they slither. That part of the circuit looks almost dry and bright and not too bad. Then you start to see the cars here, and with the headlights reflected on the ground. One thing that we were talking about in the earlier Roadsport Challenge qualifying session, and maybe at the moment the road is too wet to allow us to see this, is that because these are effectively road-going cars with the safety modifications that regulations dictate, when a driver gets to a corner and does a hard brake, the car thinks it's doing an emergency stop and the hazard lights come on.
It's an interesting thing, isn't it? Yeah, that we picked up a couple of years ago, and it's absolutely fascinating. Great observation, and yeah, you see it. We saw it during our Macau Roadsport Challenge free practice session earlier on, and we will see it again today. We're also seeing lights being flashed, headlights being flashed to make way. Gangway, I want to come through and put my quick lap in nice and early on in this free practice session. However, this is free practice, it's not qualifying, so the weekend is not going to be started and finished on the result of this.
No, and the first driver through was Ivan Cito, who is going to be therefore the one that we need to keep an eye to for a proper qualifying time, and we'll get there in due course. But Jack Tin Chung, who was the winner of Group B this year for the Team Endless squad, he is already looking good in Sector 1, but not as good actually as number 24 of Chun Chung Yun in the Mogan Team Track Day King Subaru BLZ. So Chung is the man on a major mission, and that's pretty brave, going up San Francisco Hill.
Oh, wow. So that was Huan Ying in the Subaru, the 55 car, being, as you say, very, very brave. You said it was going to be lively, this, didn't you?
Didn't lie to you, but he got ahead of, as you say, Action Chan. And not only that, but has managed to pull away quite markedly as well. Chan Shun Man.
So that was a lot to do with the urgency of doing that before this section, because it might be a little bit more tricky now. They get into this really twisty section of the gears circuit here at Macau in these conditions as well, with the windscreen wipers going on full pelt there, you want to be ahead. You don't want the spray in front, do you? So if you are going to be piecing together a quick lap, you want to be able to do it pretty much on your own. Testing part of the circuit, this, through Police and through Moorish. That's the exits of Moorish, and now on the way towards Donna Maria, this long left-hander, which will take them up to the part of the circuit where no overtaking is permitted throughout the course of all 4 days of Macau Grand Prix. Why? Well, you wouldn't be able to do it even if you tried, because it's so tight, so needy, and you have to be so careful on the exit. In these conditions, we've seen it go wrong a little bit today, haven't we? Yeah, absolutely. Oddly, for the manufacturer-paid pro drivers in GT machinery, but it's been a rum sort of a day all round, really. We're about to get then a proper lap time, and it will come from Jack Tin Chung, who comes now through Fisherman's Bend down towards our bend, absolutely on his own. Nobody around to get in the way. A perfect scenario, really. Yeah. And Chung has done 2 absolute bests. The target time is Ivan Sito's 3 minutes 18. Another one in a big hurry there, look, is Chun Yuan, number 24. Coming up towards the timing line now. Lei Kit Meng was the best in the earlier session. Similar cars, but the drivers that had fared less well in the championship. It was a wet track, but his best lap was a 3 minutes 3. So that's the target, if you like. That's what these cars are capable of doing. Ivan Sito with a best lap of 3:18.4, and top of the times for Ivan Sito in car 57. Jack Tin Chung in 3rd position now, because the 96 car of Chan Kin Sang in the SS Racing Team Subaru goes 2nd. A time of 3:18.514. Have faith in these road sports. This is going to be a session without interruption. The other one to keep an eye on is going to be Damon Chan, who is up to 9th, but he was unbeaten in his group this year. He dominated Group A, so Damon Chan will be another driver to factor into the mix, I'm convinced. Ivan Sito it is with that target time in the 57 car on the first of the flying laps, 3:18.452. Hasn't come through and completed the first sector. Sito. Yeah. Which is perplexing me at the moment. So it completed with an overall best time, 3:18.452, but has not gone through. Right, okay, that's weird. So it's now completed sector 3, but no times in sectors 1 or 2. Transponder glitch somewhere along the line. That is a glitch, isn't it? Yeah, which is now going to be confusing, isn't it? You're an educated man. Well, you say that. And I'm looking at the weather forecast that the event have put out, which today talks about occasional showers. Yes. And tomorrow, a few showers. Now, which is worse? Occasional or a few? That's a really good question. I don't know. What do you think? I think a few is slightly better than occasional. Occasional. Do you? Yeah. Yeah. That seems to be the consensus, and yet I would say that occasional showers would be more vague. So I don't know. Okay. Either way, it's going to be wet on occasions tomorrow. Is that fair to say? Yes. It is forecast to be a bit wet at times. Yeah. Not great news if you're a motorbike rider, because you've had no mileage yet. Well, not really, no. They could be doing it all on Saturday and a Grand Prix on Sunday at this rate. Which would be the contingency plan for the weekend. I suppose would be that first thing Sunday morning. Yeah. Anyway, thankfully we don't have to make up a timetable. Ivan Sito remains the quickest. Jack Tin Chung down to 3rd because Chan Kin Sang is up to 2nd now, and that's quite something because Chang was only 13th in his group in the championship. It's impressive, that, isn't it? Some people, you know, they absolutely relish this gear circuit, and they might not go so well, or they might go better at other circuits, but when they come here, they just absolutely shine. and it's something to do with the challenge that the conquering of the gear circuit at Macau in whatever machinery is something to relish for a driver or a rider, and some drivers, some riders absolutely just shine around this circuit, even in conditions like this where it's difficult to shine.
Jack Tin Chung back to the top now, 3:13.8 from Chan Kin Sang. Ivan Sito third, Huang Ying is fourth, Chun Chan Yuan fifth, and Daxing Chen now sixth. So Damon Chan, that I was praising early on, now goes third. I was about to say is disappointing, but he's gone third. That's all right. That's where he needs to be.
Number 21, Damon Chan, goes up to third. So the order now is the 27 car of Jack Tin Chung is quickest, 3:13.890. The 96 car is second, and that's the car of Chan Kin Sang. And in third, Damon Chan, with Ivan Sito now demoted down into fourth position with a transponder that's questionable, and also a time of 3:18.482. Right, 18 minutes of this session remain. They're doing well. Car 27 we're looking at just there. That's the car of Jack Tin Chung with top time. Overall best second sector for Chan Kin Sang in the 96 car. So personal best in first sector for 96. Overall best in second sector. Now an overall best in the third sector for Jack Tin Chung. Car number 27.
Yeah, we didn't see Chung in the equivalent race last year, did we? So it's giving an opportunity this year for some new names to shine.
In the Toyota. Very smart looking presented car, that. Heading around Donna Maria. Bit of a wiggle there. The run towards the Macau hairpin now. And second and third sector best overall for second quickest, the number 96 car of Chan Kin Sang. And an overall best fourth sector for the car we're looking at, Jack Tin Chung. Final sector to go now. What can Chan Kin Sang do about that fourth sector? See if that's going to be a purple sector as well. At the moment, top of the times is the car number 27 that we look at there, with the wipers working hard. Is the rain coming down again? 3:13.89.
I was thinking it had eased off a bit, actually, but it's just so wet
it's
around
so
the circuit
difficult to
now.
see,
It's deceptive, isn't it? Yeah.
So difficult to see.
Right, so Jack Tin Chung heading up towards the line. So is Chan Kin Sang. They're both in that last sector, and Jack Tin Chung goes quicker again, but was slower in the last sector, but still enough to drop the time to a 3:11, and that's 2.9 seconds to the good.
I wonder what we're going to see for Chan Kin Sang this time, waiting for the completion of the final sector, sector number 5 around the gear circuit. There were a couple of purple sectors, 2 and 3 for Chan Kin Sang. And once again in that final sector, we see not even a personal best. So the top two have failed in the final sector to improve.
And you've been trying to get somebody to get 5 purples all day, haven't you? It's just not happening.
It's not happening. Will it happen tomorrow? We shall wait and see. Tomorrow is qualifying day here at Macau. And there's a move around because Damon Chan, third place with an overall best in the final sector, goes third, a 3:12.222.
It's a good effort, that. And it means now the margin between the top two is 3/10. It's 7/10 first to third, but then you've got sort of 3 seconds worth of a margin back to Chung Hing-Hua, who is fourth. So the top three very evenly matched at the moment. And Jack Tin Chung just ahead as we nudge towards the halfway point of the session. 15 minutes on the clock. Now, Chung Chung-Yuan quicker than anybody in sector 1, followed by Damon Chan, who goes even quicker still, number 21, Damon Chan. So that now becoming the car to watch as we focus in on 96. That is Chan Kin Sang, still second after, as I was saying earlier on, a fairly subdued season out of his 4 races at the Zhuzhou circuit.
So second half of this free practice session now for the Macau Roadsport Macau SAR Establishment Cup, and Jack Tin Chung, quickest time so far. No improvements here.
I think that shot answered about the weather, didn't it? It is raining again.
It is raining, yeah.
Yeah, quite heavily looking out of the window near the start line. So
have we seen the last of the improvements in this session? I think we have.
Yeah, unless you were really slow early on, that's the only thing. I mean, these are on a tyre that's going to cut through the water pretty effectively. But I think it's now probably wetter than it's been all day, actually. It suddenly looks like it's turned really nasty.
Yeah, the light level is low, the rain is increasing, and although we've had a fair few stoppages today, drivers in each of the categories have dealt very, very well with incredibly testing conditions. This is a hard enough circuit as it is in the dry.
Totally right. But maybe, in fact, the message has hit home to the AMs more than anybody, because they've realised, gosh, daunting circuit and it's wet. Need to be really careful here.
Yeah. Let's not push this, shall we?
Whereas in the dry, sometimes they're a bit gung-ho.
It's day 1 of 4, so let's take this easy and look after our prides and joys, because these cars, I've said it before, are beautifully prepared. Jack Tin Chung is into pit lane now, so with the worsening conditions, with 13 minutes just under of this free practice session remaining, into the pit lane. That's astonishing by Ivan Cito. Had done a purple in the full sector on that last lap, and the rain was coming down.
Wow, okay.
That's impressive, isn't it?
It is impressive, that. There is Huang Ying, who is quite a way down at the moment, 10th, 3rd in the championship this year gone. But every shot makes me think that we've not seen the track look this bad, and it's not helped by the fact that it's now getting gloomy. Because the light's going as well, it makes it look even worse, doesn't it? Yeah,
the light level really, really low, and it does almost like a switch here in Macau. At 6 o'clock, it goes absolutely pitch black, and on come the huge amount of illuminations on all of the buildings around Macau. It's a different place at night time. It's an incredible place. It's just wonderful. You can't describe it to people. If you try, you can try and describe it, but you need to be here. You need to be here for Macau Grand Prix week as well. It's a very, very special event, this.
On the most amazing circuit. You know, anybody that has ever driven it will always say it's one of their, if not ultimate, favourite circuits. And you can see why, because it's got everything in it. Got a real mix. So, what have we got? 11 minutes and change on the clock. And so far, so good. 63 there is Cheng Hoi Man. Had a 2nd place in Group B races within the championship this year. And another improver, Sabino Osorio Matias Lay, who's been another mainstay of the Roadsport Challenge in whatever form it has been over the last few seasons.
For many years, actually. So, lots of these names have been racing here at Macau. The opportunity, if you're a racing driver and you live locally, why would you not have it on your list for the most brilliant way to finish every season, to race on the gear circuit here at Macau? So we have, this is incredible. Look at this, how many are putting in purple sectors, which is astonishing. So we've got a purple sector for 63, that's Cheng Hoi Man. In the 1st sector, a purple, that means overall best, better than anyone else in that sector. And so too for Ivan Cito, he's done it again in sector 4.
Which kind of suggests that's not as wet as elsewhere, but it just looks wet everywhere.
It really does. Or is that Ivan Cito goes top.
So, on a 3:11, so nearly half a second quicker.
But is that the car that we wondered about, the transponder?
Well, yeah, because it doesn't give a time in sectors 1 and 2, but its lap time works from beam to beam. So I would say that the lap time is right.
Astonishing. So goes top, does Ivan Cito, car 57, a 3:11.023. A change in position, a new top time in worsening, maybe the worst conditions of the day.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
And by nearly half a second as well. And there is Ivan Cito. So he's still pressing on. He's not giving up. He's not decided that it's time to bail. He's still maximising the track time available to him. So Ivan Cito now up through San Francisco, the Hong Kong driver, with now Chankar Ping going second, number 44. He was the race winner in Group B to be the runner-up in the championship this year. And he's 0.309 of a second back. So at the moment, we've got the leading, what, 5 between them, covered by less than a second.
Ivan Cito last year was qualified second and finished third in the race for the Macau Roadsport Challenge. And still with these conditions, do you know what? We've got 8 minutes and 40 seconds of this session remaining. And we saw it earlier on with Macau Roadsport Challenge. No interruptions in that session. You know what I'm going to say, don't you?
I do, and I agree.
We might be about to repeat this. It's a really huge credit to the driving standards of the Roadsport drivers that they have been able to piece this together and keep it neat and tidy, because look how much water there is.
Yeah.
It's horrible. Absolutely horrible.
You could also argue these are the right cars for the track surface, because they're not overpowered.
Yeah.
They're not overly blessed with aero that need the downforce and need the speed. These are good cars. They're small enough. Look, the headlights picking up the amount of rain that's falling.
Yeah.
That you and I have got to walk back through in a minute.
Well, you say that. I might stay here a while, because it really is raining very heavily now.
Yeah, indeed.
Not nice. Not nice at all.
So Ivan Cito then from Chankar Ping. Now third is Jack Tin Chung, 0.4 of a second back. But Jack Tin has gone back out again to see what can be done about the top time. If other people can do purples, thinks Jack Tin Chung, maybe so can I.
That's exactly what's happened. Looking at the timing screen coming through, and none of us expected that we would get an improvement in times, but we are getting it, and not just for one car, but multiple cars are improving not only times but also positions as well. Bear in mind, this is just free practice. There is something to be learnt. They're going to be qualifying tomorrow. 12:10. The weather forecast is that it's going to be wet again tomorrow, so there is plenty behind staying on circuit and seeing what you can do in horrible conditions. Mind you, having said all of that, when qualifying happens, it was a reasonably event-free first session of the day for the Macau Grand Prix cars. When it was free practice over 40 minutes, there weren't too many problems. As soon as we went qualifying, then all of a sudden we had the problems.
Word of credit to the camera crew as well as the marshals for being out in the rain all day, because it's barely stopped. I mean, just when they thought they might get a bit of dry, the rain has come back. It's been a really tough day for everybody. From race control.
Camera crews, marshals, track workers, all of them. Yeah, it's been pretty superb work.
So 6 minutes remain of the session of the day, and Ivan Cito has done a very good job. I think now he probably has decided that he ain't going to go much faster, but the rest paddle on. And 12th quickest currently, Lu Long Yin, who comes up towards the timing line, and Lu Long Yin has done 2 improvements in sectors. 44 goes by as well, that being Chankar Ping, still second, not improving on that last lap, and he did not improve by, gosh, about 13 seconds. Now, does that tell us that we've finally had the best of the track? That's quite a margin to be slower by.
I think you might be right. Yeah, with 5 minutes and 25 seconds of this free practice session remaining, yeah, I think we might have seen the best from this.
Yeah, I would concur now. Drivers are staying out because they want to be out, they want to learn, they want to see if anything can be done. But I think, yes, we've pretty much got to that point where we've had the best times, haven't we?
They also want to show their cars around the world, which they'll be doing. The huge amount of planning that goes into the liveries and the sponsors and all of those elements that go into a meeting as big as this. This is the world stage, isn't it, for them?
Yeah, indeed.
Still, we've got purple sectors coming in.
Sector 4 again. Oh, no, Sector 5, sorry, this time.
Sector 5 this time.
Lu Long Yin, yeah,
Lu Long Yin,
who did an improvement of a 3 minutes 12 and is therefore 6th fastest. There's 55, the yellow car Huang Ying, who's fallen to 10th now. He's been elbowed down the order. Another improver, Sabina Lai, who should be an improver in as much as knows the circuit well, and Adrian Chung, who was a race winner, I want to say, last year, also up to 14th.
Which car was that?
Adrian Chung.
Adrian Chung.
Number 11.
Correct. Race winner. Yep.
Yes, last year we had 2 Roadsport races, but over the 2 weekends. So it was a similar situation. One was split. The top drivers did the Grand Prix weekend. The remaining drivers did the 2-day weekend. It's wrong to call it the club meeting, but the smaller meeting, if you like.
It's a great celebration, that, isn't it?
Oh,
Every decade to have 2 weekends of racing. It's just superb. Absolutely superb.
Number 6 goes through, that being Lu Longyin, the monkey racing car. And another improver, admittedly 20th, but a better lap time, Lo Kai Tim, 3:28, so it's still possible to find a bit of time. Monkey racing car there for Lu Longyin, 6th in his group in the championship. And it's interesting as well how many people are staying out, even though the weather is horrible. They've not been sort of frightened into the pits, if that's the right
That's true.
describing it. They're staying out.
3 minutes just under remain in our final session of the day. The day started in a slightly unusual way in that we were expecting at 7:45 this morning local time for the free practice session for the Macau Motorcycle Grand Prix. I first suspected that something may be up when the motorcycle riders were still having breakfast about 10 minutes before they were due to take to the circuit. And yep, it was a wet circuit, so no session for them this morning. They've had, if you like, a day off. What that does is to make the rest of the weekend potentially a lot more intense, because tomorrow morning, I think the plan is that their free practice session will take over from qualifying one first thing tomorrow morning, and they will qualify in just one session at the end of tomorrow afternoon. But that presupposes that it's going to be dry tomorrow.
Yeah.
And the weather forecast is that it's going to be a bit more like today.
Although some of the teams that we've heard from in the touring car context were saying it'll be a bit wet, but not as bad.
Yeah, a bit better tomorrow.
Yeah, who do you believe? But it could be, like you say, that it becomes a very intense Saturday. Anyway.
There are plan Bs, Cs, Ds and Es that will all go into action. That, all things being well, the plan is that the motorcycles will go out for free practice, their first time on circuit this weekend at 7:45 in the morning tomorrow morning, and these cars will be qualifying at 10 minutes past midday.
Down the pit road then comes Lu Longyin, a minute on the clock. So that's really one of the first drivers we've seen actually bail come down the pit road. There also pressing on still Roy Tang, number 9, who is 16th, having been 9th in his championship this year. And 1 or 2 more going on to their final lap of the session.
Last minutes of our last session of the day. In just around about 45 minutes, the circuit that you see here on screen will be playing host to all of the local traffic. The cars, the mopeds, the buses, the trucks, the taxis, all will be on these circuits, and nightlife in Macau will be well and truly underway from 6 o'clock. And then at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, that's when we have the track inspections get underway. It's back as a racing circuit, as the gear circuit here in Macau.
And if you're up really early, it's quite impressive on an active day to see the amount of work going on between 6 when the road is closed and half 6 when the track inspection happens. You know, they're busy. They know what they're doing. There's a well-drilled machine. But a red flag, checker flag, forgive me, lights have gone red, checker flag is out. But yeah, the amount of work that goes on in a very short space of time because the road is closed as late as possible.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's not just a case of getting the track ready, it's get it ready specifically, normally first thing for bikes. which takes a bit more work.
It does, yeah, because there are various cushions that are placed around the barriers, around the circuit, and our second clue that the bikes were not going out was when we saw those paddings and cushions being taken away and packed up ready for, hopefully, tomorrow morning, because bikes around the gear circuit here at Macau are just something else.
Yeah.
Absolutely something else. Right. Now, I don't wish to gloat about my Roadsport drivers, but we've had 2 sessions.
Oh, they're your Roadsport drivers now, are they?
They are part of my family.
Right. Okay.
We can be very proud of them. We've had 2 sessions, 2 different collections of drivers, and neither of them have had any interruption.
No, fair point. And they're the only 2. Out of all the other aspects of the day, they're the only drivers that have not triggered either a full course yellow or a stoppage or multitudinous stoppages. So good on them. And at the very end, Jack Tin Chung goes quicker than anybody at the 3 minutes 9. So finds over 1.7 seconds to go quicker than anybody else.
That is astonishing.
In horrendous weather.
Horrible, horrible conditions.
Absolutely.
Wow.
So we get to the end of the day. It is 5:15 local time. Everybody is wetter than an otter's pocket, and Jack Tin Chung manages to dig deep and find a lap over 1.5 seconds quicker than anybody else. 1.7 seconds the margin. That's impressive stuff.
Wow, what a way to finish the day, right at the end. So Jack Tin Chung with the quickest time at the end of half an hour of free practice, but that was free practice. Qualifying happens tomorrow here at Macau at 10 minutes past midday, local time. Everything else gets underway at 7:45 tomorrow morning. All things being well, we'll have free practice 1 for the weekend, the carried over session from today for the Macau Motorcycle Grand Prix.
I was just pondering whether Ivan Cito might be able to go any quicker, because he did an absolute best sector 3, but the lap, not. It was a slower lap, 3:18. But a fascinating way to end the day, and really impressive to see, as Alan has made the point, the local drivers, if you like, the true AMs racing this weekend, going so well.
Superb. They don't want to push the envelope too much, do they? They want to display what they can do, display their sponsors, display their cars, display their team's work on the global platform that they are presented with this weekend, and they have done so in a supreme way. Yeah. Absolutely brilliant. Well done.
Yeah, credit where credit's due, and particularly well done to Jack Tin Chung. Right at the very end, last lap of the session, faster than anybody, although Chen Hui Man now goes second on a 3 minutes 10.659, and that puts Ivan Cito to 3rd. So a couple of shuffles late on, proving that you never give up.
Never, ever give up, not until the final checkered flag is complete. And that is very much what the Macau Roadsport, Macau SAR Establishment Cup drivers have just done. Number 63, Chen Hui Man, we follow into the pit lane on this final lap, the slowing down lap after half an hour of free practice. But it was Jack Tin Chung who finished at the top of the times. Car number 1, just a brief look at Thomas Chack, who finished up in 18th place. And a look at 57, Ivan Cito, who finished up in 3rd. So that's our final session of the day. A busy free practice session filled day, and confirmation of our final result with Jack Tin Chung, car number 27 going quickest from Chen Hui Man, in car 63 Ivan Cito in 57 going 3rd, and Chan Kar Pin going in 4th place. A rundown of the complete finishing order for our final session of the day for the Macau Roadsport Macau SAR Establishment Cup there on the screen for you. And confirmation that tomorrow things should, all things being well, if it's dry, if the circuit is dry, get underway tomorrow at 7:45 with the Macau Motorcycle Grand Prix 56th edition. Free practice will happen tomorrow morning. Let's have a look back at our final session of the day.